MRN Crew Call on MRN.com is presented by MoneyLion, the world's most powerful financial membership. MoneyLion, here we roar. And also brought to you by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Hello, welcome to this beautiful Wednesday morning here in Concord, North Carolina, and I am joined by my two beautiful guests today. Y'all are beautiful in my eyes. Don't get embarrassed. Jake Seminara and Hunter Masling, tire changers, front and rear tire changers for the number 2 pit crew, Penske Racing pit crew, driven by Brad Keselowski. All my tire changers are all young tire changers in the diversity program. They're excited about this show. They're waiting to have you two guys on, these two prolific tire changers as you are, right?
Yeah, thanks for having us.
We're here. Appreciate it.
Straight off of an off weekend. You know, we had the off weekend, which is why I have the hat in the middle. Iowa Speedway. Y'all weren't in Iowa, of course.
Not even close.
I've been there many times.
Not even close.
You know, in off season, you have some pit crew members who they work the races as well, but then you have some pit crew members who use that time to take advantage of the off weekend to recharge, to spend time with family and friends. Is that what you guys did? Starting with you, Jake, how was your off weekend spent?
So other than I live on Mountain Island Lake and it flooded, so we got that information when I'm up in Michigan, and that was pretty terrible, you know, getting pictures from my neighbors. Mm-hmm. But after the race got in and we got to fly to Mexico and did a little 5-night vacation there with my wife and our best friends back home. He's the best man at my wedding.
Some pictures coming up, man.
Yeah, we got some pictures. So
it looked beautiful.
It was
Rear
beautiful.
Tire changer right there.
It was a great time. So.
And that's your lady, right?
That's
your
my
other half?
wife. We met in 6th grade.
6th grade.
6th grade. So we've been together a long time.
What about you, Hunter? How did you spend your off weekend?
Mine wasn't as extravagant as Jake's was, but we went down to Charleston and visited some friends that moved down there recently, and we just kind of had a good time, relax, kick back, spend a few days on the beach, eat some good food. There's tons of restaurants down there if you've ever been there, and it was just a nice time to kind of relax and not have to deal with, you know, the hustle and bustle of racing all the time. It was nice just to kind of relax and kick back.
And is the Bubblegum Shrimp your favorite restaurant? What's up with that?
I wouldn't say it was my favorite restaurant. It was just me being from Louisiana and everything. I was like, it's, you know, it's a thing you got to do, whatever. We have never tried it or eaten at it before. I was like, let's just do it. Let's just get that fat out of the way and say we've eaten there before.
I think we made a big mistake here. We did not shout out our wives' names. You know, did you? So, hey, take this chance. You had the picture come up. Your wife's name. Say hello.
Brittany.
Jake says hello.
Yes.
And Crystal, my wife Crystal.
And you have to spell it Brittany. She doesn't like it if it's spelled different. She doesn't like the N-E-Y.
Yeah. So, she spells hers the classy way. Yeah.
Guys, in a short, I mean, you guys are veterans in this sport. You have the privilege to pit the car for Penske Racing number 2 and Brad Keselowski. In a nutshell, how many years have you been a part of the team? And how does it feel to pit a car for Brad K?
Well, I've been a part of the team. It's been 5 years in Dover this year. So it was definitely a opportunity in my career where I was, because I was still pretty new in the sport at the time. I even pitted with you on some then nationwide teams, you know, and the year, which was 2014, was my first year on 2-car.
That's why your shoulders are so big.
And then, and in 2013.
You have to carry me.
And in 2013, you know, it was my first like full season experience of doing all 3 series. So getting on that team in 2014 had to catch on pretty quick if there was something I didn't already know. But no, the past 5 years I've been very privileged. I've been very honored to be on that team because of, you know, I fit in well. There wasn't a lot of getting along with the road crew guys or pit crew or anyone at all. They took me in pretty well, so I'm very thankful for that.
How about you, Jake?
This is my 2nd year on the 2-car, so I've been around the sport a little while. Penske Racing's great. That, you know, they hold themselves to a way higher standard than a lot of companies, and they expect the best out of you. You know, shirt tucked in, clean shaven when you go to the racetrack, and I've enjoyed it. You know, these group of guys are great, and I know they've been wanting to get somebody on board that was you know, I think they've been looking for a rear tire changer for some time, so I'm glad that I could step in and be that guy that could help that team out. So.
And step in you did. I think y'all are at the point now where you're at 3 wins. 3 wins this year. You'll have a ton of top 5s, top 10s.
It's been a good start.
You're sitting third in the points right now. So, I mean, just take heed to what they're saying, all my young tire changers out there. They didn't just appear in this position. It was a long road. This is over 10 years for you, Jake. And close for you, right, Hunter?
2012, yeah. So it's seven years now.
It's been a long time, and it's a road and a process that's involved, and you guys are doing very well. And we want to talk more about that process as well. So all you young tire changers, we have greatness in the house here at MRN Crew Call. We have greatness in the house. Let's hop on these words that they're saying, and we'll be right back to talk with these two gentlemen a little bit more.
What's up? Vaughn Gittin Jr. here. How would you like the keys to a 700 horsepower custom-built Ford Mustang RTR designed by none other than NASCAR champ Joey Logano, the RTR design team, and me? It's one of 3 Mustangs you could win in the MoneyLion Here We Roar sweepstakes. How do you enter? Just text ROAR to 95615 or visit roarsweepstakes.moneylion.com.
No purchase necessary. Instant 2019. Must be 18 or older. For official sweepstake rules, visit roarsweepstakes.moneylion.com.
Clutch Coffee Bar in Mooresville, North Carolina is redefining the drive-thru coffee game in Race City, USA. The Clutch experience is fast, friendly, and delicious. Quality drinks and unmatched customer service is the name of the game. Clutch Coffee Bar offers signature lattes and mochas, custom flavor-infused energy drinks, smoothies, and more. Over 25 flavors, there's something for everyone. Visit our 2 locations in Mooresville, 356 Williamson Road and 154 West Plaza Drive. Open daily from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. Power up today with Clutch Coffee Bar.
Pocono Raceway is summertime. It's where kids are free and everyone's welcome to camp out for the weekend. It's where fans can shake hands with the most famous drivers on earth. It's where tailgating is serious business. It's where first-timers hang out with old-timers, and the racing is always a little tricky. Bring your friends, bring your family, just bring it, Pocono style. The Gander RV 400, July 26th to 28th. Kids under 12, free all weekend.
And we're back with these 2 prolific tire changers, these 2 beautiful, prolific, baller. When I say beautiful, you start turning pink. Is that because of
I just can't handle it.
your sunburn from your vacation? Or?
Still got a little tan going, yeah.
You don't think it's beautiful when you're hitting lug nuts and you hit 5 on, 5 off, pull the tire, boom? And
I guess it could be.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's the process.
I'll go with it.
Jake, I want to get to you, man. You're a man who's always worked under pressure, it seems like. It seemed like you were always in position throughout your career on these upper echelon teams, competing at a high level. And the common mistake a lot of athletes, pit crew athletes make is the fact that once they start clicking off 12-second pit stops in practice consistently, then you get that 11-second pit stop, and you feel like you got it. And it translates to the racetrack. There's another part that is not being accounted for. That's the ability to win the race every single week and pit the car. And for you, throughout your career, it seems like you've just always been in that position. Prior to Penske, you were with Joe Gibbs Racing as well. And I believe they stopped counting all the wins that you've had with Kyle Busch in the Truck Series and the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series you had with him. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I'm a 15-year veteran. 14 of those have been in the Cup Series. I was with Kyle Busch. I was fortunate to be with him from 2008 all the way up until last year. And I think it was somewhere up in the close to 140 wins or something. It was something ridiculous.
That's when you stopped counting.
Well, if I went back, I'd love to know the exact number. But, I was very fortunate to work with somebody like Kyle Busch. I mean, his talent level. And we pitted every Xfinity race for 10 straight years. I did double duty.
So for 10 straight years, he wasn't doing trucks at the time, right?
He did, but we didn't pit many of them. I only did
Billy
a few.
Ballou.
Yeah, exactly. And then he started his own truck team. The one year he actually started his own Xfinity team, and we didn't pit for him that year. I can't remember exactly who we pitted for that year, but I still did the full year at Joe Gibbs Racing. But I mean, we were fortunate to win 10 to 12, 14 races a year in the Xfinity Series, and then you mix that in with 5 or 6 on the Cup side. And, I was winning maybe 20 races a year for 10 years or so.
So let me put my hands in your pocket. If you get $10,000 bonus for each win of the
no,
and
no
then
bonuses.
you've won over 100 races at $10,000
I could retire next
bonus.
No, I wish there was some type of bonus program.
I'd
set
go
up.
to Mexico too.
Yep. Now you see the difference in vacations.
You go to Charleston, he goes to
That's
Mexico.
right. He goes out to
Mexico.
country. Yeah.
That's a lot of wins, Jake. And, you know, I remember my first win with Jeff Gordon and how special that was with me and how I was in the Premier Series for 5 years and never won. You know, to the point where when that first one came and started clicking, I can't fathom the idea of over 100 wins.
Yes.
Period. To the point where victory lane must get boring at some point.
It doesn't get boring. Sometimes you feel, you know, we would do an Xfinity race and we'd do maybe 1 or 2 pit stops and, you know, Kyle's lap in the field. The only thing that you can do at that point is screw that race up for him.
Yeah.
So sometimes you feel a little like, did we really help him win this race? But there was many races where he had a 5th place car and we got him out on the last pit stop. And, you know, so I think it all balances out, and that's when you can really step up and appreciate it. And like I said, I was very fortunate enough to work for somebody with his talent for that long. And,
Right out the box.
Right out of the box. They put a new team together in 2008, went out and hand-selected some guys and put us all together and said, this is the team we want to win a championship with Kyle Busch for. And unfortunately, it took all the way to 2015 till we could finally do that.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I really thought going over there, I was like, man, we're going to win 4 or 5 championships.
After a broken leg.
Yeah, I mean, you know, exactly.
That's Kyle Busch,
So
man.
that was a remarkable season.
And Hunter, you know, I remember your process as well. Talk to a little bit about how you got to where you are, because it's a little bit different from Jake's. Not
different.
everybody comes in the way Jake came in.
It's a little different. I've been employed at Penske my whole career since it was late 2011. You know, got signed over from pit school on just a truck contract, developmental contractor, everyone call it. And for the first 2 years, year and a half, I just pitted Brad's trucks, didn't do any Xfinity, no Cup races. Mm-hmm. And then my big year, I call it my experience year, is 2013. I took the time to count them. It was about 87 races over the wall with truck, then Nationwide Xfinity Series and Cup Series. And Bill pitted Brad's truck. We pitted together in the same Xfinity team. You actually helped get me that deal. You're like, hey, I know a tire changer. I'll come and get him, whatever. I think it was Jeff. I think Jeffrey Earnhardt was the driver. Whoever.
You had those big shoulders, man. I need to be carried.
I mean,
you walked down pit road like this, and I saw those shoulders.
I'm just trying to hang with you, man.
There's a tire changer I need
can't be a
right
little
there.
puny changer next to you. And then the Cup Series, I pitted the BK racing car. I believe it was Travis Quapple then. But that year right there helped get me that, as you talked about earlier. You know, you can go to practice and do all these times and do all this and this until you get that at-track experience and been over the wall 100, times in a couple of months or whatever it is that you need that experience. That really helped me. And in 2014, when I got the chance to be on our Xfinity team, I believe it was the 3rd race of the year, something happened to the guy in front of me, and our coach at the time came to me, he's like, Hunter, sink or swim, it's time for you to go. And actually, the first Xfinity race we won in Vegas with Brad, so it was like, oh, this is easy, first Xfinity race. Then life happened, and next, I think it was 4 or 5 races later, had like a bad race here, bad race there, and you're like, oh, God, I got to get my stuff together. And then a chance came up for me to be on our Cup team, and it was literally thrown into the fire. It was like, hey, I showed up to work Tuesday. The guy that was there in front of me, he's like, he's not on the car anymore. You're in. And I was just like, I was like, oh, God, here we go. This is my chance. And that was not smooth sailing as Jake's. It was a little more work. But.
Well, like I said, we come different paths. Everybody has their own path to get to where they are in this sport. And one thing that is consistent is once you reach that level in this sport, it's a great living.
It's
a great living. You can earn a great living. So that brings me to my next point really quick, real fast, is our financial crew chief, MoneyLion, financial crew chief, is we have to think about life after pit stops. And really quickly, if you guys both, are y'all good money savers, first of all? But if you're a good money saver, that's the first thing I want to ask you. Secondly, I want to ask, what are y'all looking at as it relates to life after pit stops? Start with you, Hunter, or Jake, whichever one. Hunter, we'll go with you first.
I got a few eggs in the basket of what I want to do. Not exactly like this is what I'm doing as soon as I'm done with racing. It'll be something with automotive, whether it's, working with a car dealership, whether we're still working at Penske or just wherever. Like it'll be in that area
Are you a money
expertise.
saver or are you a bag blower? I mean, it just burns your pockets.
My wife gets mad at me because we don't do like enough stuff. She's like, "You're such a tightwad with everything." I'm just like, "Sorry, whatever."
So you're the tightwad,
Yeah.
and you have to be with a certain extent, but at the same time, you do enjoy.
Yeah,
yourself,
I mean,
right?
I say that jokingly. She's probably listening, like shaking her head right now. But there's areas that everyone has their little splurges, what they like to spend money on and whatnot. So
Before we go to break, Jake, what about you?
Yeah, other than gambling, we go to Vegas. That's
he
about,
is not the money saver.
that's about well.
You're the bag blower.
I'm
Well,
really
see,
good at saving money.
$10,000 bonus over 100 wins. You can afford to gamble.
Well, everybody can gamble on their own level, but
His is just
but,
more
uh,
extravagant.
no, I've been pretty good about saving my money my whole life. My wife's very frugal with her money, so I think we've been really good with that. We've done some investing, financial stuff like that. But as far as maybe life after pit stops, I'm very into like craft beers, so it's something I'd love to maybe get a job at a brewery or brewing beer or something like that, or something of that nature. Or I don't know if it necessarily be involved in NASCAR still. So I'm going to try to keep doing this as long as I can.
That's awesome. Y'all hear that, youngins? Take heed to these words. These guys have seen a lot of money and they're trying to keep it. I also want to remind you guys who are listening in to make sure you tune in next week as MRN heads to Chicagoland Speedway as a part of Procore Week on MRN. Procore Week on MRN. So anyways, we're going to get right back with Hunter and Jake when we get back, and we're going to get schooled a little bit more when we come back.
At the Goddard School, teachers customize lessons so children can explore their interests, have fun, and learn the skills they need for success in school and beyond. From infant sign language to pre-K students tackling STEAM learning, our Flex Learning Program or Fun Learning Experience is grounded in research that shows the most genuine learning occurs when children are having fun. Our teachers leverage this through lessons inspired by children's imaginations. To enroll, visit GoddardSchool.com. The Goddard School, learning for fun, learning for life.
At Freightliner, innovation is at their core. In fact, Freightliner was created nearly 80 years ago out of a need for something new in trucking. Today, that innovation still drives them as they constantly work to make their industry-leading trucks safer, more dependable, and even more efficient. All the things that make a smart business decision a winning business decision, no matter what you may haul. Learn more about Freightliner on highway trucks at Freightliner.com. Freightliner, run smart.
The Camping World NASCAR weekend is June 27th through June 30th at Chicagoland Speedway, home of 2018's most exciting finish. Witness the next generation of drivers earn their place in NASCAR history. Taste brisket, burgers, bacon, and more from Barbecue Hall of Famers. And see Lee Brice in concert all in one weekend, June 27th through June 30th. Get tickets and camping spots now at ChicagolandSpeedway.com.
Is presented by the Goddard School, the best childhood preparation for social and academic success. Visit thegoddardschool.com for more information. The Goddard School, learning for fun, learning for life. All my kids have gone to the Goddard School. They still go there now?
Yeah.
I'm my 4-year-old, and it's the best way to get a jump, before kindergarten. And I don't know if y'all have kids yet. I know you do. You got How many do you have?
I just got one. She's 16 months old. We got her at the up at a school in Huntersville.
Okay.
So we tried to get in a bunch of different schools. It's tough.
I know it is.
Enroll them and try to. It's mostly like daycare until they're older. She's still young. So.
Speaking of schools, let's get them schooled. Okay, this is my favorite section. We're actually gonna learn them something. All right, everybody who's listening. Really quick, I had 3 questions from tire changers within the program that when they knew you were coming on the show right away, they wanted you to answer a few questions they had as it related to tire changing. And either one of you can answer this first question. When do you know a tire is loose? Immediately or after there's an issue and a driver talks about it?
I've had it both ways, where I've buzzed a pattern on and I run right up the pit box and tell the crew chief, if he says anything, that tire might be loose, And then I've had it the other way where I'd gone to my grave saying there's no way that wheel's loose, and sure enough, you come in and that wheel's loose. So I've had it both ways, and I've had crazy situations. You do it long enough, you're going to have that. So there ain't, and I'll tell you this: any young tire changers out there, if you ever have a loose wheel, don't get discouraged because it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
We're going to have more this year. We're going to have some next year, and there's not a tire changer that's out there that's going to tell you differently because you're going to have a loose wheel. So
let me ask you this: when you had that loose wheel, did you always run to that crew chief immediately to the box and say, "Hey, I had a loose wheel," or did sometimes you just hope and pray that it wasn't loose? When did you know to talk to that crew chief?
I think you got to, if you think there's an issue, you got to own up to it pretty quick because they're up there crunching numbers on fuel mileage and tire wear, and there's a lot of things that can go on to where you tell them at that moment in time, they can make the decision on it. So
the reason why I asked that is because early on in my career, I would see tire changers hoping and praying that it wasn't loose. Later on in my career, I would see tire changers, as soon as the pit stop was over, they would go straight to the box. Hey, we might have a problem on that left rear or that right front, whatever the case may be. I didn't know if that was a learned behavior or is it just something that...
I think technology's kind of got to us too now. We all got helmet cams.
Everyone
we got
has GoPros and their cameras, and
it's tough to hide your work now.
The eye in the sky does not lie.
It's a good and a bad thing.
12 years ago, I could say, there's no way that wheel was loose. Now they got a camera. They look at
the we know you're lying.
You go over to the right side. You're the only one ever that can tell them if it was loose or not.
Okay, that's great. Great insight. It's question number 2. Is there a different set of skills necessary to change front tires as opposed to rear tires when it comes to changing tires?
In my opinion, I definitely think because you have to run down the car, I think your rear tire changer maybe needs to be a little more nimble, maybe a little more quicker, lighter on his feet. Front tire changing, a car comes to you, and you're there. So I'm not saying you have to be more or less athletic to do fronts or rears, but just that's the only little thing I can say is you're the rear guy. You need to have good footwork. You need to be fast up and off your feet because it's you're chasing down the car.
And you pulling the tire from the front, right?
Yeah.
You're pulling the tire, and then you might have, if you don't have that beast mode tire carrier, you might have to carry your own tire out there, right?
Exactly.
Which way do y'all do it? Do you carry your tire out there, or do you have a beast mode tire carrier?
Oh, no, we got the beast mode tire carrier.
Mainly
because we tell them to carry. We don't want to carry our tire.
Jeremy Ogles.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Shout out to Jeremy Ogles.
He's a stud.
Beast mode tire carrier. Who else is on your team that's not here today? You have
Braxton Brandon, Jackman Carrier. I don't know if there's a new name. Maybe that should be your next show. A new name for that position.
Jerrier.
So Jerrier, that's what he calls himself.
That's a good
Jerrier.
Yeah.
Jerrier.
That's what he calls himself. He's not a Jackman.
If we can get him to wear a Jerry curl.
I don't know. He's pretty particular about his hair. If you ever see him at the racetrack, he's got that thing dialed in.
He takes his helmet off.
It's not messed up.
How does that happen?
A lot of product.
The only other one I know to do that is Chad Averett. They
look good all the time.
They look dapper. They look good. Yeah.
Question number 3. This is the big one. And besides hand speed and the obvious, how can a tire changer set themselves apart from other tire changers in the sport to gain required attention to move up through the sport?
Consistency. That's easy. Yeah.
How are you consistent? What do you mean by that? Talk to me like I'm not a tire changer.
I mean, just basically it's. A quote from our coach, Chint Cherry. He said, when I show up to the racetrack and I don't have to worry about what you're going to do today, like when I show up and I know what this guy's going to give me, like that's the kind of level we need to get to, I think, to be on that top cup team week in and week out, is that consistency. It's like you can be a flash in the pan and have a good race or two here and there, and then you struggle, whatnot. But if you can be that guy for years, it's because probably you're pretty consistent and consistently fast at your job.
I agree. Speaking of you mentioned Trent Cherry, your coach.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be safe to say he's a player's coach, or is he more of an administrator?
No, I'd say he's definitely a player's coach.
Yeah, he's there with the guys. He goes to dinner with us, rides in the van with us. He doesn't.
He was just recently on pit crews not long ago, pit crew and coach. And I think that it's been hard for him to transition to the coaching. So he still, wants to be one of the guys or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, he has a lot of experience as well. And as far as it relates to Penske in particular, your team is doing, I would say, fairly well this year.
It's been a pretty good start.
What's the atmosphere like at the shop amongst yourselves? Is the competition high between the Penske teams in general?
Yeah, I think anytime you can win, it just boosts morale. I mean, we went all the way to last year. We didn't win a race till Darlington, and it just weighed on you all summer. Like, when is this going to happen? And I think you can win early in the season, and that many. I think we got 5 wins as a team right now, 3 for us and 2 for Joey. That just builds so much confidence. It makes pit practice more fun.
Who is the best pit crew at Penske?
The 2.
2 cars.
I was testing.
Last year was the 22 last year champs.
Yeah,
so we'll
defending champs. Yeah. It's hard to compete against defending champs.
But we got some good crews. The 21 car is good. The 12 car is really good. It's really nice. We don't stack one pit crew. We got 4 good teams. So I think that it makes practice very competitive, a lot of fun. We don't have just one team dominating every single day. So
and then they're smart. They went and takes Joe Gibbs' pride and joy and bring him over there. Mr. 140 plus wins, 10K bonuses.
I don't think we fought too hard for him. I think he was pretty willing to come over. So.
Well, why did you take the pay cut to get him over here?
We had to. I mean, the man, he was used to making a certain amount. We look to get our first paychecks next year and we're like, what the heck's going on? Oh, never mind. Forgot.
Speaking of winning real quick, I want to talk about Hunter. Hunter, I want you to go really quick. I want to talk about 5 races in the beginning of the year. Daytona. What comes to your mind when you think about the first Daytona?
Well, this year it was pretty rough for us. I remember we got caught up a bunch of those late race wrecks, and it's just, you know how that is in them speedways. It's do whatever you can to get the car to finish. Went to Atlanta. It was completely the opposite. Won the first race, like Jake said. You got the monkey off the back early in the year. We won Atlanta this year, so that was good. In Vegas, we had a chance to win. I think we finished second to our teammate. And we go a couple of weeks, and we win in Kansas, and that was just kind of out of nowhere win because we ran good all day. I think we were a top 10 car all day, but then all of a sudden we played the strategy right. Paul made a good call to put tires on late, and we kind of stole that win, if you want to call it that. But, no, it's been good starts of the first part of the year.
And then let's talk to you, Jake, about your next 5 races in Martinsville, Texas, Bristol, Richmond, and Michigan. What do you remember about Martinsville besides the obvious?
Martinsville was dominant. Like, you dream of doing a race like that, but it was probably the most pressured race we had all year because we came down pit road 6 times in a row with the lead, and we left 6 times in a row with the lead. So that was, but I think we led.
I got goosebumps when you said that because that is such a great feeling.
It was great. It gave our team a boost, and to be able to do that every single stop and to dominate a race and lead almost every lap. It was like no other race.
It was fun.
Do.
So you got Texas and Bristol coming up
Texas, we had a bad race. We had an axle break, kind of took us out of contention. I don't think we finished very good. Bristol, we ran phenomenal. We had a chance to win that race. I think all our cars ran good. Joey and Blaney both ran really good. Last restart there, we decided to pit instead of staying out, kind of shuffled us back, and then we got mixed up on the order. NASCAR, if anyone watched it, told Brad to get out of the way. We actually got black flags, so we ended up fishing pretty bad there. Richmond was kind of an up and down day for us. I think we ran pretty good. We had a couple shaky pit stops throughout the race. We actually got back into contention and just kind of finished that race out. It was nothing too flashy. And then Michigan, I'll say the racing I thought was awesome. The way everyone could pass 3-4 wide. I thought that was something to watch. That was really good. My dad and my brother got to come up for that. That was really good. It sucked we got rained out, but just not a. I don't think we had a car that could win that race. I think we ended up finishing 6th, but it finished right where we thought we should have. So
that's awesome insight, guys. Because when you look at the finishing order, sometimes you don't know the hidden story of what happened in the race from the pit crew's perspective. So great information. I hope y'all are listening out there. And I also wanted to, while you're listening, I wanted to remind you that Hercules Tires is giving away a free set of tires every month. All you have to do to get those tires is register by going to www.herculestire.com/MRN to register. We'll be right back with more Jake and Hunter and our clutch performers of the week when we come back with MRN Crew Call.
Did you know that banks collected over $15 billion in unnecessary bank fees last year? Come on, enough is enough. It's time we took back control of our finances. That's why MoneyLion is proud to bring you the Financial Crew Chief and to be a NASCAR sponsor. Look, no one knows more about hard work and pursuing their dreams than NASCAR fans, drivers, and teams. So we want to bring you the kind of banking that the big banks would never build, with features like zero-fee checking and zero-fee investment accounts. And because life is also meant for a join, with MoneyLion, NASCAR fans get even more. We're giving away 1,500 NASCAR tickets to our members this year. Plus, you can get 5% cash back on NASCAR tickets at at-track purchases, and all purchases at NASCAR.com. Learn more at MoneyLion.com or download our app. This is America's most powerful financial membership. MoneyLion. Here we roar.
Here's your chance to win a set of your very own Hercules tires. Go to HerculesTires.com/MRN. Simply register, and each month we'll give away one set of tires. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading mileage coverage to get you wherever you need to go, no matter where the road takes you. Register now for your chance to win a set of Hercules tires at HerculesTires.com/MRN. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
And we're back with Jake and Hunter. We over here talking and reminiscing about the pit crew competition. But before we get to that, we want to bring on my favorite part of the show, which is the Clutch Coffee Performer of the Week Award. And the Clutch Coffee Performer of the Week Award goes to the number 44 truck team, the Gander Outdoor Truck Series, the Nice Motorsports. And who do we have? We have Garrett Henson as the front tire changer, Pedro Martinez Jr. as the rear tire changer, Brandon Banks as the jack man, Robert Miolin.
Just call him Pineapple.
We'll call him Pineapple. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's his nickname. Tire carrier, Pineapple, and Wesley Nodine, the fuel man. Congratulations, guys. The reason why we selected them in the truck series, guys, you know how exciting it is to win a race, and to get to victory lane, to celebrate that victory. And it means a lot. And we know it means a lot to the most crew members besides Jake, being that he's won so much. But
whatever. He doesn't even go sometimes.
But to have that race taken away afterwards by those guys, I felt bad for them, and I felt like they still needed to be recognized in some way, shape, or form, because at the end of the day, they did win that race. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. Congratulations.
Yeah, they didn't have any idea it was going to.
Yeah, the truck was super low, and
they did their job and they won the race.
Exactly, and you never know when your last victory lane visit's going to be, so enjoy it when you're there.
You don't know that. Good job. So, anyways, we were talking earlier about congratulations, guys, and we were talking about pit crew competition, and we wanted to give you all of our perspectives on it. But at the end of the day, I think Jake has the best idea on a pit crew competition. If we were to revamp the pit crew competition, Jake, what would it look like?
Yeah, I'm telling you what, I love doing the competition. I love that aspect of it. I had like an idea for like a destination deal where you take your family, your kids, your wife, maybe somewhere like Hawaii where we go and we get to, go out and to spend some nice weather and hang out with the
Something
other
like the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, exactly, Pro Bowl. Hang out with like the other all-stars in the sport and somehow maybe do some pit stops in there somewhere. I don't know. Maybe do them on the beach. I don't know. Do something fun.
We should.
Hit some lug nuts or.
I liked the idea of the All-Star. I use the All-Star qualifying as our competition. The only thing I would like to see change is maybe come in wide open to the start-finish line.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe do an actual pit stop, jump off the wall.
Yeah, maybe we're pitted a little further down.
Exactly.
So then they can slow down and we can actually jump in front of the car.
Yes.
And I might eliminate the lap. Like, I understand the lap is important. It ties in the drivers to the crew. But if I bust off an 11-second pit stop and the driver steps on his and drives a terrible lap and I don't win, I don't like that. They get enough credit as it is. Let us do what we do.
Just have a whole nother separate event.
I wish somebody would step forward with some sponsor money and get us a pit crew competition.
You're going to do it with all that bonus money. Hey. Jake,
I want to win more.
Jake, Hunter, man, I'm so happy that y'all were able to come up on the show with us today. Is there anything in closing you'd like to say?
Thanks for having us here. And
what are y'all going to do in Sonoma?
Hopefully win. Now, I don't know. We might maybe go golfing or do something. It's a long flight out. So.
Long flight, just kind of get there and unwind a little bit and get this thing.
I hear that. Well, don't drink too much wine prior. You know how it is out there in
Sonoma.
Sonoma.
Headache in the morning.
I've done that one year. It was tough.
I wish I could be out there with you guys. We're going to be looking at you on TV. You represent Penske Racing very, very well. And good luck. Hopefully you get that fourth win.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate y'all joining us. MRN Crew Call. So 30-second promo.